Hey, house guests! Welcome to today's
Oh, huh.
welcome to today's Big Brother Canada 11 Digital Daily Update. Coming at you early today. It's so nice
Oh,
when they post the
hi.
Digital Daily early in the day.
Then we
just
can
get
get
it
our
done.
work done.
It's so quiet
I've
here.
got my surgeon's outfit on. I'm ready to perform some Big Brother surgery.
Oh my goodness. Our house guests of the day are Rosemary Gross and Linda Ford. Thank you both so much for the support.
You.
Yes, we could not do this without you, and we appreciate it so much. So thank you again. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. It's only $1 for a hollow. Isn't that fun?
Yeah, I love
All
it.
right. Well, yesterday's Digital Daily left us with so many questions.
Like, who's on the block?
Yeah, who won, So we do have confirmation on things. Obviously, we already knew that Dan is the HOH.
Correct.
And we were thinking Renee and Hope were nominated. We can now confirm that is true.
We were correct.
They were the initial nominees. And as we've heard over and over again, Zach is at least trying to pull the strings again this week. But there may be some resistance there.
Uh-oh.
Oh my goodness. But Zach did win the power veto. And we weren't sure who he was going to be using it on. But he did have his sights set.
Laser focus.
On Rob going up and out this week. And Santina, we saw, was not thrilled about it. She was really questioning this move. And we're going to talk about that some more. But
first, we have a super chat from Alex
Garza.
Thank you so much, Alex. And Susan Pingley.
Thank you so much for the super chat.
Thank you so much, Susan. That's awesome.
Very nice.
I love their stickers. One's like,
yeah.
And the other one's like, money, money, please.
Well,
thank you.
Thank you. We also saw yesterday that Rob placed Shania firmly in the friend zone.
Oh, that hurts so much.
He was all, it's not you, it's not me. I hope we can still work together on a game level. And she was just like, I need some space.
Nothing sucks as much as putting yourself out there only to be slapped down.
On like camera in front of everybody.
Well,
or I mean,
a few people anyway.
I mean, maybe she can take comfort in the fact that not as many people are watching this season. Anyway,
yeah.
Let's talk about today's Digital Daily. It was covering yesterday, day 17 in the house. And we've got Ty and Jonathan starting it off, chatting in the Circle K room.
Right.
So,
and doggy chewing. So
sorry about that. But at least he's not barking, right?
Yeah.
All right. So Ty is telling Jonathan, look, don't beat yourself up every week, like about people leaving.
I'm a stone cold killer.
Yeah, he was like, I might not seem emotional, but like it's in here.
Is it? I don't think so.
I don't know. But Ty is like, things come up and sometimes you have to reevaluate, right?
Sometimes you're gonna have to kill.
Well, it sounds like Rob is nominated, and yes, he is. We know now that he was put up as the replacement nominee. Zach used the veto on Hope, so now Rob is up next to Renee.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So Jonathan's like, well, I thought we were all boys. You know, what's going on here? Why is Rob up on the block, especially knowing that Zach's got a lot of influence over Dan, the HOH, this week?
People are not loving Zach even more this week. Like, it started last week, like, Zach, he's, it's kind of like, hey, it's a joke. He's like running the show.
Yeah.
But now it's starting to affect people even more. And they're like, wait, he's cutting our arms off.
He's been, very good at convincing the HOHs to do things, but he has not been good at keeping that under wraps. Yeah. His puppeteering has been way out in front of everybody.
I think part of that is his freaking ego, his freego.
Yeah.
He loves to say, like, I did that. That's because of me.
That's
I'm
a problem.
Running the show.
That is definitely a problem in the situation. So Jonathan knows that Ty is still super close to Zach. So he's warning he's warning Ty, you need to watch your ass.
Watch your ass.
He's not saying specifically like around Zach, but like he means watch your ass with Zach. Because look what he just did to Rob. We were supposed to be all working together.
Yeah.
So he
turned on him.
Yeah. Ty is still going with what Zach wants. He is pushing for Rob to go, saying Rob is causing distrust in the group. They can't play like that. They can't move forward like that.
Right.
So
you got to cut out the rotten pot.
Yeah. Well, Jonathan's like, I don't want to be part of that. I'm not going to let Zach pull my strings. I'm 33 years old. I've been around the block. I'm not doing this.
Today.
He's worried that Zach will turn on him next. Look at what he just did to Rob.
But wasn't Zach one of his boys?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like
now he sees what Zach is doing.
Yeah, but
it was okay
like,
when Zach was doing that to other people, but now it's hitting a little too close to home. So Jonathan is definitely worried that Zach is going to start making up lies about him and spreading them around the house.
I mean, it's possible.
So Ty's like,
it's probable.
Whoa. Don't take these game decisions personally.
What?
Don't let someone make you feel smaller or like you have to hide. You can't talk to people. Talk to the people that you want to talk to. Do your thing.
I think a line is definitely being drawn in the sand.
Oh yeah, it's bros civil war here
today.
These bros are going to be going after each other.
They are imploding.
So then we have Rob chatting with Jonathan in the Circle K room. And Rob is talking about the votes. He wants to really hit the ground running here. And he thinks that he has votes to stay from Jonathan, Hope, Kuzi, Daniel C, and Vanessa. And at first I was thinking, like, you really think you got all these people? And then I was like, oh, maybe he does. After what we saw today.
At first I thought there's no way they're going to keep him. But just you wait.
So Jonathan is like, dude, I'm putting in work for you. I got your back.
Jonathan really is putting in the work.
He is. He does not want Rob to go.
And he's a stand-up guy, except for lying about the Boys Alliance. But like, he's a great guy.
I mean, I guess I'm sure he's a great guy in real life, but
probably.
Anyway, Rob's like, I got 2 days to lock in these votes. I'm trying to stay calm right now because I guess it's being said around the house that Rob is all paranoid for no reason. I mean, he's on the block, so it seems like there's a reason. But I mean, he's trying to fight against that rumor.
I'm curious to hear what Jonathan said in his veto speech.
You mean Zach?
Right. Zach, sorry. My head is spinning. I want to know, like, did he say things have, twisted in the house? We used to be working together and now we're not.
I don't know.
I mean, this has got to be like a big confirmation that there's a Boys Alliance now because it's falling apart.
I don't know that was necessarily said in the veto ceremony, but apparently there was some sort of blow up that keeps getting alluded to involving Vanessa.
Yes. Do you think it was before the veto ceremony or after?
I don't know. It's really tough to say. It's hard to say, but
it's painting a big target on Vanessa, though, in terms of Zach.
It is. He's definitely got his eyes on her as another potential target coming up. So Jonathan says the whole thing about Rob being paranoid is bullshit. And he lets Rob know, I already talked to Renee and I let her know that I'm going to be keeping you this week. And she told me that she respected that. So, and again, I thought at first that maybe he was just like placating Rob or something, but like, I think he's serious. He really is trying to keep him.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, Jefferson Tucker, thank you so much for the super chat.
Thank you
really
for the super chat. Yeah.
Appreciate that. Preach.
So Jonathan says, I don't know why everyone is taking Zach's word as gospel. All of the lies that we're hearing can be traced back to Zach. Oh, dip. So we saw last week that Jonathan was kind of like not happy with Zach and saying like, we got to watch out for him. And it's really coming to a boil this week and it's going to boil over, I think.
I never will understand why it's taken so long to do something about Zach because it's
only
very clear. Everybody was talking shit about him last week about what a shyster he was, about how slick and slimy and greasy he seemed, but now everybody woke up this week.
I mean, it's week 2, right? Things are, it's not just summer camp anymore. It's the real world now.
Yeah.
So Rob is saying, man, I feel bad for JM. Sorry we didn't keep you last week. And he's thinking
they drink like a Red Bull toast, a Canadian Red Bull toast to JM.
No.
They really effed up.
Well,
they really did.
Rob is saying, look, if Dan wasn't here, I would have won HOH. I wouldn't be on the block right now. Things would be completely different.
Absolutely. 100%.
I'm curious what Rob would have done if he won HOH. Would he have put up Zach or would he not be at that point?
I don't think he would have put up Zach. Definitely not as a first option. if the week had played out a little differently, he might have done a backdoor.
I don't know.
But I think it's too soon to put up Zach if I'm Rob. You know?
I mean, if this whole thing hadn't happened.
If he had gotten wind of Zach knew about how you're already talking down Zach, then yes.
You mean Rob?
Rob talking down Zach.
Okay. I was like, what? All right. That makes sense. So
yeah.
Rob is saying, you know, moving forward, if he stays this week, he will be targeting Zach. And he says, if I do leave, I'm going out swinging. I'm going to let everyone know what's going on in this house so that Zach will be following me out.
You blow that up like a Starbucks bathroom.
No, ew. Moving on. We've got Zach talking to Daniel C. in the Toucan room. And Zach is like, I'm trying to remove myself from the situation here. I'm trying to distance myself from what's going on because he does not want to be the next target. About that, you might be one of the next targets.
Yeah.
So Daniel says, I'm not going to keep Rob in this game. You don't have to worry about me.
Mm-hmm.
Zach is saying Rob has been paranoid for a week and a half for no reason. And he feels like if it wasn't Rob going this week, it was going to be Vanessa. Again, there was some sort of a blow up with Vanessa that we didn't see.
We really need to see this blow up.
Yeah.
I hope they show it on the show and they just don't
forget that it ever happened.
Yeah.
Well, Zach says that Rob has been telling the girls not to trust the guys. He cannot have that. He feels like Rob really did this to himself.
I mean, he was talking smack about Zach. And I'm sure it got back to Zach because
of course it did.
Anika or whoever.
But like, why is Zach running the show here? These people were ready to just let Zach do whatever he wanted.
Yeah, they were.
Mm-hmm.
They were.
Well, anyway, now Zach has instructions for Daniel. And this is a direct quote. He says, here's what you need to do for me.
I can't believe he did that.
Whoa.
The
douche jumped out.
Yeah.
So Zach tells Daniel C., find out who Rob is working with to try and flip this vote, because I need to know.
Bring me back a latte on the way back.
Yeah. So Daniel quickly says, it's Santina. I already know. It's Santina. Ugh. So Zach says, well, I'm working with Santina and I trust her. But
think again.
This Rob situation, like if she's trying to flip the vote for him to stay, that's a problem.
Zachy, remember when you didn't tell Santina that she was pretty at the end of the
her HOH
reign?
She
remembers that.
Mm-hmm.
You know who did tell her she was still pretty? Rob.
Yeah. All right.
You should be worried.
Yeah. Speaking of Rob is now chatting with Daniel and Kuzi in the Toucan bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
And Anika joins them like, a minute into the conversation or whatever. So she's there too. So Rob is saying he was completely blindsided about going up. He did not know this was coming.
I'm sure that's true.
I mean, he did suspect that there were going to be issues with Zach. I don't think he thought it was going to happen this soon.
I don't think he thought he would be backdoored.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like this early on.
No way.
Mm-mm.
No way.
So Rob says, I know that there are rumors and lies being told about me this week. So I'm telling you, just if you hear things, just take it all with a grain of salt.
I love Kuzi. She's like, what are they?
Yeah. Well, there was one about like Jonathan being told to distance himself from Rob.
That's true.
Yeah. There's all this stuff with the Shania rejection going around.
Also true.
So Kuzi's asking, well, why don't you just go talk to the source about it and defend yourself? Like, why don't you take the opportunity to do that? And Rob is like, well, I'd like to think that the people that trust me will believe me and I don't have to do that. So he's telling them again, like, think about who's talking to you and why, like, what's the motivation behind it? So Rob is saying, like, this is not my official campaign. I'm going to be talking to everyone individually. I want to wake people up. Wake up, Canada.
This is just a little amuse-bouche.
Yeah. And he wants people to start thinking for themselves. So Rob is saying, I was targeted. I was victimized. I was brought into something that I was not a part of before.
But you were.
Well, he says he did talk to Dan. We did not see this conversation in the Digital Daily. We haven't really seen much of Dan at all in the Digital Daily.
No.
Which is crazy because he's the HOH.
Just eating dinner with everybody. Like,
running to the hot tub.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah. Well, he says that Dan told him, a group of people came to him and said that Rob was causing drama. And Rob knows that Zach was one of the people leading the charge for him to go up. So he says, I'm tired of being a pawn in someone else's chess game.
I feel like the excuse that they had to give for the drama, though, was the whole Shania thing.
Mm-hmm.
Not like, hey, the Bucks are infighting,
Yeah.
The Bucks in this all-male alliance are fighting.
Right.
No.
Well, Rob is pretty much talking about how Zach has to go without naming Zach. But guess who walks in?
Zach.
It's Zach. How awkward.
Zach, he's there to commandeer Hope's bathing suit to put his boys in where Hope's boys were.
No.
There's a reason why you can't return a bathing suit to the store after you wore it, because you don't want your boys next to somebody else's boys.
The net in men's bathing suits has always fascinated me. But anyway.
Yes.
So yeah, then we get a clip of Zach talking to Kuzi and Anika in the toucan room. And Zach is asking straight up, was Rob just like pitching to you guys?
No.
Is he coming after me in his pitch?
No.
Well, they said like, yeah, he was kind of pitching a little bit.
No, but they were like, Kuzi was like, no. And then Zach was like, come on, tell me the truth. Why are you lying? And she's like, yeah, he was.
Well, because he says, like, people have already been telling me that he's dropping my name. And Kuzi and Anika were like, well, he never really named anyone as being the problem here, which is true. Technically,
Yeah.
He did not name Zach, but like everybody knows.
But everybody knows the elephant in the room.
They know he's talking about Zach.
The bathing suit stealer in the room.
Yeah. So Zach says, well, Rob accused me of making decisions for everyone in the house. And he said that I have everyone wrapped around my finger. So Zach says, it's not true. Rob's just trying to put a target on me on his way out this week.
Oh.
So
how presumptive of you.
After Zach leaves the room, Cozy tells Anika, you know what?
Cozy.
So, did I say Cozy?
Yeah.
Sorry. Cozy tells Anika, Rob was really making some good points in his campaign.
He was, actually.
It's getting them thinking. And Kuzi says, looking back, we were kind of intimidated into voting out JM last week. She did not want to do that. Mm-hmm. She was very much wanting to keep him around, but she felt like she couldn't do it. So she's like, all right, let's look at this. If we vote out Rob this week, we'll be getting rid of a physical competitor, which is great. We're opening up some doorways for ourselves. But if we take out Rob, we are settling a personal vendetta for Zach and Ty.
Dirty work.
Doing dirty work for Zach and Ty.
For the head boys in charge.
And Kuzi does not feel great about that. So Kuzi says, I would consider flipping and keeping Rob, but there's a lot going into this decision. We also have to think about if Rob stays, we're risking Rob and Santina joining forces and working closely together. Like, how many giants do we want to keep in this house?
I think if they get rid of Zach, that will get rid of a lot of the effery. And it will be a more straightforward game, I feel like.
Yeah.
Because Ty will really be kind of on his own.
Ty is like a Zach Jr., though. He's just better about hiding it.
Okay. Yeah. But
he has the capability to be pulling strings himself.
He's losing some numbers, though.
True. Yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what would happen.
It would definitely be a closer fight. Because right now, with Zach in charge, it feels like it's steamrolled.
With Zach leaving potentially at some point, does that bring the guys closer together again, or are they apart? Because I almost feel like it could make the guys come back together.
I don't know. I think Ty might be on the outs.
I mean, it's going to be interesting. If he sticks too closely to Zach moving forward, it's not going to be a good look.
Right.
So we'll see what happens.
Because it's going to get back to Rob.
Yeah.
That Ty was like, hey, cut him loose.
It's a very fine line.
To Jonathan.
So we've got Rob and Zach chatting in the kitchen. And I was like, ooh, here we go.
Awkward.
Go. So Rob is saying.
Look, this looks like I'm a saint.
You've got a little hat there. Rob is saying, I have not lied or backstabbed. I have stayed pretty much true to what I said that I would do. I've been transparent with the people that I trust. Not you. I mean, he said that he does not trust Zach, and that's gotten back to Zach. So,
I mean, Who would?
Yeah. Well, he says the people that I thought would have my back, I'm seeing don't have my back. You know, I'm being seen as a threat now, and that excuse about me being paranoid is bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
So Rob says to Zach, I'm hearing that you're telling people to separate themselves from me. What's that all about?
Who'd you tell?
Well, Zach is like, who's saying that? Jonathan saying that? Which is Jonathan. And Zach is like, no, that's not what I said. I told him I was distancing myself from the situation. I mean, he's basically that's what I said. So Zach is telling Rob, you really need to distance yourself from the personal game. And Rob is like, okay, but like people are making it personal because of this whole Shania situation, which is completely unrelated to the other blow up that apparently happened.
Right, with Vanessa.
So Rob is like, you have a lot of influence over the game, so you're a part of this. I know you're a part of this. I'm just encouraging people to make their own decisions. Right. So Zach accuses Rob of having tunnel vision right now. I mean, it's kind of hard not to when you're on the block, right? Yeah. But Zach says, if you're going to pin all this on me, then I'm going to have to start campaigning too. You know, if you're going to include me in your campaign.
Is he expecting Rob not to fight back? Not to try and stay in the house?
It's just funny to me because Zach has been campaigning this whole time. Like, he is the biggest campaigner in there. He's telling everybody what to do.
He's campaigning from the minute he stepped in the house.
Yeah. But anyway, he's telling Rob, like, you be out of your campaign or I'm going to have to step up to the plate here.
What'd you think of the paint job he did on Rob about, like, oh, you're a hot guy?
Well, okay. So then they start talking about the Shania situation because, like Rob said, it's gotten kind of personal here. Mm-hmm. You know, he's being dragged through the mud about this. And he's like, I had a very respectful conversation with Shania.
Yeah.
Which I thought he was.
I thought he handled it pretty well.
From what we've seen, we don't know really what's been going on in this house because we only see like 2.5 hours a day, if even.
I mean, the talk, the letdown,
I thought was respectful.
I thought it was very respectful. It wasn't like, I'm not really into you. Yeah. He was very nice about it and very the least awkward that it could be because, I mean, that's awkward. You can't get around that.
Yeah, especially when you got nowhere to hide in that house.
Yeah.
So they were talking about how, like, Rob was going to have to, you know, deal with something like this because
he's a hot guy. And he knows how to speak.
Well, Zach said to Rob, you're a hot dude who can speak. And Zach was like, if I came in here single, like, I'd have the same problem, you know?
I don't think so.
So he's telling
Rob, I don't think so.
Your greatest strength is also your greatest weakness because you can go in a room and like charm people or whatever, but you're gonna have people falling in love with you. So
you gotta go.
Zach is telling Rob, look, there's no awkwardness between us.
Sure, I could cut that with a butter knife.
Yeah. Well, anyway, now we have Rob talking to Santina in the library. And keep in mind, Santina is very pro Rob. She wants him to stay. Yeah. So Rob is telling her about the conversation that he had with Zach. And Santina's like, I think you have a very good heart, but you need to use your words wisely when you're talking to Zach, because now you're telling him straight up that you're talking about him in your campaign. He knows that.
Drawing a line in the sand.
That's dangerous.
The line was drawn when he was put up on the block.
Yeah. So Rob says, I hope we have numbers this week. Maybe I am a loose cannon. What? So Santina says a lot of people trust Zach in this game because he protects them and that makes them feel good.
During the Rob-Zach convo in the kitchen, didn't he basically point blank tell him, look,
Who told who?
Zach told Rob, look, I am pulling the strings with Dan. The reason why you went up was because of me, not because of what he wanted to do, kind of thing. Because
not real. I mean, he's trying to separate himself from that decision. You know, he doesn't want to straight up be like, I'm the reason you're up there.
I thought that's what, or did he tell that to the girls? I remember him saying
he told that
to
the girls, basically. But
like Dan's just a blank. I'm running the HOH.
Yikes. So yeah, Santina thinks that Rob should actually confront Zach in front of other people so that Zach won't have like time to think about his answers and maybe he'll just be a little more forthcoming. So like a house meeting.
I'd love to see a house meeting.
I don't know.
Sloppy, sloppy, sloppy.
But I also worry that Zach is such a charmer that he's gonna like be
Talk
able
his
to,
way out of it.
Yeah. So I don't know. It'd be interesting to see.
Yeah.
But who knows if that would happen.
I'm sure he's gonna try.
I don't know.
His hardest. I mean,
Mhm.
if he doesn't succeed, he's gonna probably go home next week.
We'll see. So then, last but not least, we have a game chat. Jonathan was talking to Kuzi and Anika.
Smooth AF.
Okay, so Jonathan's putting in work here. Jonathan says, I will go down fighting for the other side. He was making this conversation like some freaking motivational, like gladiator speech,
or like Notre Dame,
it was very intense.
Halftime football,
it was like a movie.
Vince Lombardi, whatever speech.
Well, Jonathan is saying to the ladies, Rob would be a great asset for us, a great teammate. He is not a dictator like some of the other people in this house. And he's saying,
he listens. He's a stand-up guy.
Yeah. Jonathan says, I will stand by you guys every step of the way through this game. I'm going to make sure we're good.
And there's no boys alliance.
So Anika says, you know what? I am leaning towards keeping Rob.
Well, she told that to Kuzi.
She said that in front of she said that in front of Jonathan.
Okay.
So then after Jonathan leaves, Kuzi's like, I'm sold on keeping Rob. And of course Anika agrees. She already said that. Well, Jonathan was in there. They really felt like Jonathan sold that deal.
He really did.
Yeah.
He was very convincing.
They felt very confident in keeping Rob after talking to Jonathan, especially now that they know that Hope is also wanting to keep Rob, because that is something that was also discussed.
We are Renee stans.
I know.
But like we cannot not keep Rob.
I don't know.
This week.
It depends.
I think
hate
also,
to see Renee go.
I know. They feel like, I mean, it's a sacrifice, it's collateral damage. But like you've got to set up that ultimate fight between Mufasa and Uncle Scar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to set up that fight.
Except I feel like all these guys are Scar. There's no Mufasas here. I don't know.
Maybe they're Scar and the hyenas.
I don't know. But anyway, there's some potential votes here for Rob to stay.
There's a lot of votes here for Rob to stay. I think he's got the votes.
I mean, you need 6 this week to stay. So right now, he's got Anika, Kuzi, Jonathan, Hope, probably Santina.
Right. Definitely Santina.
Well, if she knows the votes are there, I think yes. But
of course.
She's got to be brought into the fold officially. So he would need one more to stay. And I guess Vanessa, because she, from what we can see, is very anti-Zach.
Yes. For that reason only. I think if it were any other situation, she would probably get rid of Rob and keep Renee. But since they had that blow up, and Zach is like, oh, that Vanessa thing, I'm sure she could very easily be convinced to keep Rob.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say because we haven't seen much of Vanessa other than like cleaning and cooking. We did not get to see that big blow up, so who knows what's going on. But
this is like freaking Anika's dream anyway, to get rid of Renee, because since day one she's been like, I don't like Renee.
I'm bummed because I really enjoy Renee and I like her energy. I feel like she's wanting to break up that guy's alliance too, but I guess Rob would have more of a chance of winning competitions than she would. But it's an interesting power struggle this week. We'll see what happens. Let us know what you think in the comments. Who do you want to stay between Rob and Renee?
I want to see Rob stay.
I don't know. I'm undecided at this point. So.
I want Rob to stay because I want to see the Mufasa Scar thing.
All right. Well, let us know. Thank you all so much for being here. We will be back tonight for an episode recap.
Oh.
Yeah. And then another digital daily tomorrow. So
yes, hopefully they'll put it up early, like nice and early, like they did today.
That would
be great. Do our work.
Yeah. So we'll see you all next time. And thank you for watching. And until then, much love. Bye. Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.